What's going on YouTube? Michael Harris here, back again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about how I find six-figure worthy supply chains using AliExpress and Alibaba. So stay tuned.
Too many thoughts on my mind, I can't sleep at night, so I just keep writing. I don't need no help, I don't need opinions, so don't waste my time then. I just been living online.
Alright guys, so before we get started with today's video, I want to make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and also enter my free chat group from the links below. If you do, you'll be entered into a drawing to win a completely done for you Shopify store, and also you'll get my Google advertising blueprint, which is the exact step-by-step strategy I use to scale to over $9,000 a day with single product stores. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that. The rules to enter the competition, or the drawing I should say, is to enter the chat group at the links below. It's the Google Kingpins chat group, and then subscribe to the channel, and that enters you in to win those things I just mentioned. So we'll be doing the drawing at 1,000 subscribers, so definitely don't miss out on that. Also, if you stay till the very end of this video, I'm going to give you a bonus, a little freebie extra just for staying till the end, so make sure you stay all the way to the end of this video to catch that. So let's go ahead and get started with this video today. What I'm going to be talking about with you guys today is the strategies I use to test products using AliExpress and then scaling into suppliers on Alibaba, and the reasons why I do this, and then kind of the plan after that once you hit those six-figure months and you have a solid track record of sales coming in, what you should be doing then after you find your suppliers on Alibaba. So I went ahead and broke this down on a screen recording for you guys, so let's go ahead and hop into that. Alright guys, so in today's video I want to talk to you about the back end of e-commerce stores and how a lot of people, including myself, find strong and steady supply chains. And you'd be surprised at how simple this is, but I want to really break this down, give you the pros and the cons of each, and show you kind of the overall strategy that I use. But before we get started in the video, later on in the week, I'm going to actually do this live for you guys. On Wednesday, I'll be posting a video of me actually finding suppliers and giving away a winning product, also showing you how to get fast shipping times. So make sure you stay tuned, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, because you're not going to want to miss that video. Right now I'm just kind of going over the general overview of like the strategy I use, and then we'll actually break it down and do it live on Wednesday's video. So let's go ahead and get started with this one, guys. First of all, what I like to do is what most people do is use AliExpress, and that's also what I like to do too. I like to use AliExpress just to test products. And so on AliExpress, it's really easy to fulfill, 10 to 15 orders a day using stuff like Oberlo or Dropshipping or some of those other apps that everyone should know about. If you don't, check them out. It makes life a lot easier. But once you get up into 50, 75, 100 orders a day, 150 orders a day, those apps just really don't work anymore, and they can't handle the volume, not to mention the fact that it takes forever to order off of Oberlo and stuff like that when you have that many orders. All right, so let's go ahead and break down exactly what I do. So I do my product research. If you guys don't know how to do that, I do have some videos somewhere on the channel on how to do that more in depth. But I do my product research, and I'll import 5 to 10 products off of AliExpress. Okay, I do use AliExpress just to test products and kind of find winners and find what's working. So let's go ahead and say we are getting a sale from our blackhead vacuum, right? This is our blackhead vacuum here. And this is a product that we imported off of AliExpress, right? And so let's say we have a few sales starting to roll in. We have 1 or 2 or 3, right? We're going to be fulfilling these off of AliExpress using Oberlo. And so I'll continue to do this until I get, I would say 10 to 15 or 20 orders a day consistently. And after that, what you want to do is start looking for Alibaba suppliers, which I'll break down a little bit more in a second. But you actually want to go on to Alibaba.com and start searching for actual real legitimate wholesale suppliers. And I'll go over this one here in a few minutes, but basically we're going to be using AliExpress just to test and fulfill small amounts of orders because it's quick and easy, and because they're available and Like I said, in a video that I'm going to be posting in a couple days, I'll show you how to get fast shipping times, which also is kind of the cherry on top to the AliExpress method. But basically with AliExpress, there's a few things that we really want to focus on and we want to find. So that's having like really high rated suppliers. So like 5-star or 4-star suppliers that have like really good ratings on their products. Also, we want to have like a really high order count on our supplier on AliExpress. So like the higher the better. A lot of the times if you're searching products, you'll find like multiple suppliers that are selling the same product. So I usually just go with whichever one has the highest order amount to import into my Shopify store, right? So that's really important because you know that like they actually have a decent supply chain. They may not be able to handle 6 figures a month worth of orders, but they can definitely handle 10 to 20 orders per day. We also want to make sure that they have a fast shipping time available. So I'm not going to break this method down yet. You guys will have to stay tuned, but you can get shipping times, or you can get suppliers that have products in the US on AliExpress, which means it's like 5 to 8 days usually, most of the time, using USPS. Now this is actually possible. I'll show you guys how to do it on Wednesday. You do not necessarily have to ship from China, and you can get really fast shipping times. So in case you guys didn't know, do not use ePacket. Like just don't even do it because it takes way too long for it to show up, and you will get chargebacks. So just never ever ship anything from China using ePacket. Like I know there's a lot of people that say you can still do this, but you need to stop listening to those people because it doesn't work. You cannot run a legitimate business with 12 to 20 or even 30-day shipping times. So like just don't even do this method anymore, okay? We want to find legitimate suppliers that have fast shipping times because that's what's going to ultimately bring us more business, okay? So assuming that you found suppliers that match this criteria, then what you're going to want to do is go ahead and import the product into your Shopify store, right? And then, like I said, we're going to sell these on Google Shopping using the methods that I teach. And at about 10 to 15 orders per day, we're going to want to start considering and or looking and contacting suppliers on Alibaba. Before we break this method down, the reason why I stop using AliExpress is because there is actually quite a few issues with it once you start to scale up. So I'll go ahead and give you guys a few pointers on why you should not be using AliExpress like long term. One of which is because the suppliers usually are people just like you and I, right? And so they are people in China who are ordering in bulk from warehouses in China, and they're marking them up, and then they're selling them to us and shipping them to the United States for us. So the suppliers, they are actually marking up the product on AliExpress a few dollars, and that's also just creating like an extra step, right? Like you basically are just adding days to your shipping times, especially if they are out of stock. It's just creating like way more steps for the package to arrive to your customers than really necessary. And so aside from that, there's a few other issues, and one of which is it takes like a really long time to order using Oberlo. Like we don't have all day to just like sit around and like watch the clock spin and spin and spin and spin and spin while we're waiting for like Oberlo to load and stuff. If you guys have ever ordered more than like 10 orders a day, it takes forever, and like you just don't have time to do that when you're trying to make money online. So in the methods I'm going to break down in a minute using Alibaba, you can actually it takes me like 5 seconds to place my order, and I don't have to really do anything. I do have an assistant that does the tracking number updates, but like you don't have to sit there and order through Oberlo like everyone tells you have to do. So it's definitely important to keep in mind that like time is money once you get up and have winning products. The next thing why you don't want to use AliExpress long term is because once you start to get like really high orders, they can actually like totally cancel your payments, and they can actually hold your money sometimes. So like when I was spending about $3,000 a day on Aliexpress in the very beginning when I was first starting out. Aliexpress actually held this money because they thought that I was some kind of scam or somebody got their account hacked into and something was going wrong with my account is what they thought, even though I was actually a legitimate person ordering legitimate products and stuff. Aliexpress actually kept this money and they put it on hold for like 3 weeks. Like I had like 3 different days worth of $3,000 days of orders being placed on hold. So it was like $9,000 in total that was just like on hold. And so after reaching out to their support and everything, finally got it released, I had everything verified, blah, 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 and then they released the money back to me. So it was back to mine, but that obviously causes like a huge delay that you do not want to have happen. Like that's valuable capital that you need to scale your business. You can put that into ads, you can put that into making more money. So like once you get up into higher numbers, you can't rely on AliExpress for hardly anything. The last thing that I want to get into is, I kind of already touched base on this, but like the Oberlo app is what I knew and used, and I still do use it for smaller amounts, but the Oberlo app actually starts to get really glitchy. And they claim you can do bulk orders, but you can only do like 40 bulk orders or 50 bulk orders, something like that at a time. And so when you're doing bulk ordering from Oberlo, it still takes a while. Like you still have to wait in a good, like, I don't know, 15 minutes per batch of 50. And then you have to restart that again and just keep going and going and going until your orders are fulfilled for the day and ordered on AliExpress, which then you just start to get back into these same problems. So if you're doing anything over like 20 orders a day, then you definitely want to use this next step that I'm going to break down for you. And that is using Alibaba to contact like more legitimate wholesale suppliers. Okay. So like I said, I'm going to do this live later on in the week. I'm just giving you guys kind of the overall strategy of what I use now to kind of warm up and lead into that video coming up. So after, like I said, maybe 10 to 20 orders per day, this is kind of the general rule of thumb I do, 10 to 20 orders per day, you want to start going to Alibaba, okay? And on Alibaba, I'm just going to put Alibaba, you want to message like, well, first of all, you want to obviously find your product, find suppliers that sell your product. So if we have a blackhead vacuum, and we'll obviously search that on Alibaba, and that should definitely pull up at least, I would say at least 50 suppliers. You know, for something like that, you should have at least 50 suppliers showing up in the search results. And then what I would do is go ahead and just message at the very least 10 suppliers, if not 20. If you're like an overachiever and you really want to have a lot of options, then go ahead and do 30. The reason being is because not all suppliers on Alibaba will accept dropshipping orders, but actually a lot of them are starting to. And I'm actually doing this right now with my niche store, is we're having orders drop shipped using Alibaba suppliers, not AliExpress, Alibaba suppliers. And this is actually working really, really well. So once you message 10 to 20 or 30 suppliers, this does take a little bit of time, but you should start to hear back from them. And what I want to tell you guys is you want to always give them like a reason why they should be working with you, because Alibaba is, the suppliers on there are like long-term partnerships is what it should be considered and what you should go into it with the expectation for. So to back up a little bit and get off topic, if you guys have like a niche store or at least a niche in your general store, you should eventually be working towards a wholesale ordering, right? And not doing drop shipping, because eventually, at least this is my goal, maybe some people will disagree, but eventually you want to actually own all of your inventory and have it in like warehouses that you have more control over, which we'll get into that later on in this video. But like you should always go into these deals with and set the expectation that like eventually you want to bulk order products, right? So when you contact these suppliers, you just want to like type out to them, you know, hey, my name's blah, blah, blah. I own blah, blah, blah company, and I'm looking for a long-term business partnership. I would like to start as, you know, fulfilling orders via the drop shipping method. And then as we grow and develop a partnership, I would like to then eventually order in bulk from you and order like 2 weeks to a month's worth of inventory at a time. You don't have to have like a huge amount of inventory for this method. 2 to 4 weeks worth of inventory is all you need to really mention to them. If you're doing more than that, then I don't know why you're watching this video if you're doing more than that, because you don't need to learn these methods. But anyways, so once you guys message these suppliers and you send them kind of that template, I would say probably like 50% of these will actually respond back to you within like an hour. And then the rest of them will respond back to you within like a week. And they should give you answers. Again, not all of them are going to respond back with like, yes, we're happy to assist you or whatever, but you do definitely need to, that's why you definitely need to reach out to like more than just one or two. And so as long as you do things correctly and you reach out to a lot of them, I would say you probably get at least 5 that come back and say, yes, we support dropshipping. Again, this can depend on the niche you're in. Obviously, there's a lot of factors, but like every time I've done this, I've gotten at least 5 leads on suppliers that support dropshipping business model. And so once you get your 5 or so, give or take, then what you want to do is talk to them about how to send the order and kind of like what their methods are and all that kind of stuff. And if you guys stay till the end of this video, I'll make sure to give you the shipping company that I use, and you can actually get 5 to 8 day delivery methods on Alibaba. Okay, just so you heard me, make sure you heard me right. 5 to 8 business day delivery from China to the US, drop shipping from Alibaba. So if you stay till the end of this video, I will make sure that you get the shipping company name that is becoming extremely popular, and a lot of dropshippers are starting to use this. So make sure you stay till the end. So that being said, once you get your suppliers lined up, then you want to start to talk to them. You want to say, okay, like what is the shipping times that you have? What is the average order volume that you do? How many units do you have in stock? And you want to start asking all of these questions to them, and they will start to respond. And as long as they're a legitimate supplier, they should have be able to respond to these questions, no problem. One last thing you want to ask is the minimum order quantity, and you want to make sure that it's 1 if you're doing drop shipping. If they say it's more than 1, that means that they're not drop shipping and they like didn't understand what you were asking up here. Okay, so the minimum order quantity should be 1 if you're drop shipping orders. And then you just want to make it really clear that like, okay, you're sending each order to like individual customers, not all to me, correct? And sometimes these guys don't necessarily always understand what you're explaining. So again, that goes back to why you should like ask so many suppliers, is because half the time they don't even understand what you're saying. But then the other half of the time, they will actually be like legitimate business people that will help you. So once you do that, you're pretty much lined up on having like a legitimate supplier. And so I want to talk to you guys about the pros now of doing this and why you want to work into this eventually, especially once you get up into like 20 orders a day or more. So some of the good reasons why you want to use Alibaba, I kind of already mentioned, but we'll go over those again really quick and then add in a few more. So the main reason is obviously you want to establish like a long-term business partnership. This should not just be like, none of this, anything about e-commerce or drop shipping is get rich quick. You want to make sure you have a long-term business and a long-term partnership with a supply chain that can really supply you and grow with you as your store and your company grows. So that's really important. Obviously, Aliexpress, it just can't offer the like long-term sustainability. So that's why it's really important to only use them to really test products. And another reason why you want to do this is because Alibaba is the actual like beginning manufacturer. Okay, like I mentioned this earlier, on AliExpress, those are people that are actually like marketing up the products that they're selling. They're just like you and I, like they are essentially drop shipping from a wholesale manufacturers and then marking it up. And so when you're on Alibaba and you're finding suppliers on Alibaba, you're actually getting like the actual like start, end, or you're actually getting like the actual beginning manufacturer where the product actually originates from. So it's actually like manufacturer direct drop shipping. sending it straight to your customers. There's no middleman, so you get a lot quicker processing time. You actually know where your package is coming from, and so on and so on. So the next good thing about Alibaba is you can actually export your orders from your Shopify store, and you can just send them the entire Excel sheet or CSV sheet or whatever it is that you use. So like the whole CSV you can just send, and then they'll send it back to you with all the tracking numbers on it. And that obviously takes like 5 seconds compared to using Oberlo and stuff like that. When you export your CSV, they'll just put in the tracking number for each order, and then they'll send it back to you. And you can have your assistant or yourself update those tracking numbers with either Oberlo if you want to keep using that, or you can also just do that straight in Shopify from the orders section of your store. And the last thing I want to mention to you guys is you still get the trade assurance, and you also get just like the satisfaction of knowing Alibaba is like a huge company. So like your money that you're actually paying for the orders is done on Alibaba, but you don't ever pay the supplier like offline. Like if the supplier, that's a good pointer to add, is like if a supplier is asking for money offline, then don't do it, because that's like a scam, or like they're not going to help you out, or like stick to what they're saying. So you always want to pay on Alibaba, and that's like the final tip, is that you get just the satisfaction of knowing that like if something goes wrong, you still have the trade assurance, and they also have Alibaba support and stuff, and you can dispute. Basically, it's kind of the same thing that your customers do on like PayPal or chargebacks. You can file a claim with Alibaba if things don't go correctly. Last thing, I guess one more final thing I already did kind of mention, but you can get like a long-term trustworthy business partner that can really handle a huge amount of bulk orders. Like I sent my supplier 200 orders a day for a long time, and they didn't even think twice about it. Like they know exactly what they're doing, and there's absolutely no hesitation. As long as you find the right supplier, there's absolutely no hesitation when you send them that big of an order, and they can get it done. They can ship it out within usually 24 hours, sometimes 48. And that's really important to have when you're going into these big numbers. And honestly, this is not something that a lot of people will tell you. So I really hope you guys found this video useful. It's a pretty short one today, but I am going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Like I said, stay tuned to the very end. Once I cut out of this screen share, I'll go ahead and give you guys the free bonus on the shipping company that I am using to get 5 to 8 day shipping time on Alibaba. Make sure you keep that one a secret. Not a lot of people know about this, so definitely don't just go handing it out. But if you're watching this video, you can get that for free at the end. So I hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, make sure you subscribe and enter the chat group at the links below for your chance to win a done-for-you Shopify store and my Google advertising blueprint. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video today. That's the methods I use to scale to over 6 figures. It's really important, obviously, that you have solid supply chains, and that's why I recommend not using Aliexpress once you hit those certain criteria points that I talked about in the video. So you definitely want to take action on finding 6-figure worthy suppliers using these tactics. All right, and for those of you who stayed all the way to the end of the video, the bonus that I'm going to give you guys is actually going to be in the free chat group. So click the links below, sign up for the Telegram chat group, which is called Google Kingpins. And once you enter that chat group, I'll give you the shipping company that I use that gets 5-day delivery times from China to the United States. And it's the same exact price as ePacket. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, enter that chat group for the chance to win. And then the bonus is I'll give you my shipping company, the name of my shipping company that I'm using and that's starting to become really popular before everyone else starts using it. So make sure you join the channel. Join the chat group and subscribe to the channel for your chance to win that giveaway. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day.